Hey everybody, this is Diego Melo at StratiVentures. As normal, every week we try to come up with information that could be helpful to the investor community. This week we have Vanessa Duhan, she's one of our SBI members, and we want to ask questions that might be helpful to everybody out there that's listening. So Vanessa, thank you very much for coming out to talk to us. So these are going to be questions that I hope will shed a little bit of light to a lot of people that want to get involved in real estate investing and other things that we can be very candid and ask questions and get some real answers, because I think a lot of people would want to know about real estate investing, exactly what it is and what people have gone through. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am an interior designer by background.
Okay.
I went to work for a large real estate company about 20 years ago. And at Christmas, they gave me a great Christmas present. They decided to give me my own independence. So
you got laid off.
I got laid off.
All right.
Yeah.
we like to call that a graduation point in real
Okay.
estate because you're getting involved with time.
Exactly.
You get to have a lot of time now.
I do, and actually, you were the third phone call I made.
Okay, great.
So, kind of to back up a little bit, in 2017, I had to run across a advertisement.
Okay.
For a large group of investors, and they're constantly hitting you with that advertisement, and because I was sort of in the commercial real estate industry, being a designer and understanding BOMA standards, floor plans, and things like that, it was just something that intrigued me. So I decided to go to the free seminar. Then of course they get you with the weekend seminar, and then the bigger seminar. So.
Okay, so your interest in real estate investing came from your professional background and wanting to get involved with buying houses, repairing them, selling them?
Being an interior designer, I mean, obviously I have always had that passion for wanting to renovate houses.
Okay.
Just didn't really know how to go about it. And then because I was on the commercial side and such a large commercial firm, I could actually see how things would go. But it wasn't on a small-scale individual residential side. It was on a commercial side. So I wanted to learn the other side.
Okay, that's good. And I think that can resonate to a lot of people that come from any kind of background that is in real estate investing. Mine was the financials. So I always know the number side of it, the risk assessment side. But it was the how did this investment go to work? Yeah. How did it make its return? Excuse me. So let's go with the second question here.
Sure.
How did you end up going to some of these large national education companies? What was it? Obviously, you said you saw the advertisements, you saw, I'm assuming the commercials and the emails.
Yes.
What was it that said, you know what, I think I'm going to go and immerse myself into this? And I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
Multiple times hearing it, a lot of times seeing it, which made me feel like there's a sense of credibility.
Exactly.
I'll relate that to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're constantly listening to McDonald's, and all of a sudden you go have the hamburger, and you're like, well, this burger tastes the same as it were in any city. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So you're hoping for the same quality to be there. And not just because they advertise all the time, does that mean it's a good burger?
Exactly.
People like McDonald's. I like McDonald's, but I mean, was it really for me?
Yeah.
I heard it enough to go there.
Well, and that's exactly what happened. I think it was just constantly, it seemed like every time I got in the car, every time I turned on the radio, infomercial would always come on. I'm a late night person, so things would come on at 2 a.m. and you would see this infomercial of this person saying, come, let us teach you real estate. And you kind of, like you said, when you see it so many times, you feel like there is a credibility to that company. Which I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just saying that, it's like you're constantly seeing it, and if you have any interest in it whatsoever, that's sort of like a springboard to say, well, let me just go see. Let me just go see what it's about. And
okay.
So, absolutely.
Okay. So when you got there, what was your first impression? Well, first off, where what? It was here in Houston?
It was here in Houston.
Okay, okay.
Yes. So the first one that I went to was a 2-hour in a hotel, very professional setting. the majority of the people there were kind of like-minded. We were all there being inquisitive, wanting to find out what it was all about. So it seemed like legit. Everybody had their stuff together and very professional. So yeah, I mean, it was a comfortable feeling for me.
So overall, you felt like it drew a lot of good people.
It drew an interesting crowd of people.
Okay, an interesting crowd of people. Okay, good. Well, I believe in my past experience and the amount of people that we've worked with, real estate does bring in a different amount of people. You know, various mentalities, you know, practices, ethical and backgrounds.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the people were, you know, young people who were trying to find their path in life and wanting to get into real estate. There were young professionals like myself. There were older people who...
When you were in that setting with all the people, what was the exact, if you can name a couple of things that said, I'm going to move forward with something like this?
So I think it was, like I said, they really have trained their salespeople to kind of give you the highlights and sort of make it very palatable as something that you can do with 2 hours a day. You know, you can become a millionaire kind of thing. They kind of show you their lifestyle and where they are, and they're like, you can achieve this too in this amount of time. So when you're working professional and you look at your time, it makes it seem like it's very easy to do. So time for me was one. I was like, oh, this is something I can do in my free time. And just wanting to be a part of the bigger group. I mean, there's so much fire and energy in those seminars that you go to. So
okay, so a lot of the things that they talked about resonated with what some of the what you were to consider limitations that you had.
Yes, and showing me the ability to be able to move forward with where I wanted to be. You know, they were...
Would you say that they're accessible? Would you say that these are the things that are they gimmicky? Or would you say that they're, you know, they are absolutely obtainable?
I think it depends on the individual.
Correct.
You have to be a very driven person. You have to be a good time manager. You have to be a very good organizer of just your whole life to be able to do things. To me, it did take a lot more time than what they were saying that it would take, but still doable. I mean, I haven't felt like it wasn't obtainable.
Great, and I'm glad you said that, because one of the things we don't do is obviously you pay for your education, and there's great education out there.
Yes.
So it really boils down to what do you do with your education. A lot of education and what people learn is a system and a process. A lot of people talk negative about systems and processes without them going out there and actually practicing them.
Exactly.
So I can tell you that at StratiVentures, we probably have almost 8 or 9 local and national real estate education company members that have come to us because it is great education wherever they get it, but it boils back down to the limitations they have and what they were sold. It is obtainable, but it should be obtainable to everybody.
Well, that was one of the good things about me getting into the real estate was that I met you, and where I was struggling with other companies that I had invested with, some funds to get my education, you kind of had that missing link for me to step in and to, instead of going with people who are national, you know, you're local. So when I need something, I can call. I can call you. I can call the team that we have. And it just made it a much more personal experience for me. I felt like I had a better foundation to start my business and to continue to keep it going. Where with some of the other national companies, I felt disconnected after a certain period of time.
Yeah, we've heard that a lot. We feel that there is the approach of saying you can obtain this, which is one of the things that, like, there's a video that we watch that tells us a goal is something that you want to hit, but a goal doesn't tell you how to get there.
Exactly.
I think SVI steps into that role of showing you how to get there, and especially on a local level.
Absolutely.
So I understand where you're coming from, and I really appreciate that comment, because it really is something that affects a lot of people in this business, because at the end of the day is we're trying to make this a better industry and more successful, and create a better successful investor, not just for SVI, but also for the education companies that are out there.
Well, yeah, and there's no doubt in my mind that if I hadn't have met you, that my advancement in my career would not be where it is today if I didn't have SVI as a group, a family, a support system for me that I just wasn't getting from the national company. So.
Awesome. So I don't mean this to be a loaded question here, but I get usually the same answer from everybody when I ask them this question. What would you have done different if you had a chance?
Well, I think finding you was probably my golden egg. If I had been able to be exposed to your company prior, I definitely would have taken that avenue. And I think it would have been a springboard for me to move quickly, faster into where my obtainable goals we're moving towards.
Okay. Can you help myself and obviously the people that are listening, 2 or 3 key elements or 2 or 3 key points of how we helped you, how did we become a springboard to that?
Well, first of all, your classes allowed me to come in and be more on a one-on-one basis instead of constantly having to schedule a phone call, always with a different person. And that was the other thing. Your staff has continuity to it, so the same faces are always here. You know, you've formed an organization that allows us to have a trust factor, that somebody's not in the door and out the door. You know, there's not a rotating door with your company. The people that are here have been with you, and we're comfortable with that.
Correct.
So just being able to have people that respond quickly to us. If I have a question, I can call anyone in the office and ask. You know, those are big things for me. Where some of the larger companies, I had to wait my turn for the phone call, depending on whichever coach that they assigned me to. It might be a week before I could talk to that coach again.
Right,
you know,
right.
those kind of things. So those things for me were proponents to help me move my business forward much faster.
Great. Would you agree that real estate's a language?
Absolutely. It's a language all on its own.
Okay, good. So and I love you say that, because you know, real estate being a language is something that you have to immerse yourself into.
Yes.
So would you agree that you want to be in an establishment where you're constantly establishing and speaking the language of real estate, which in turn builds your confidence in that?
Oh, it's just like a doctor. I mean, a doctor, they have their own language, and you know, the OR. They I don't know what they talk about when they ask for certain things, and so it is. I was lucky that I knew a little bit more than maybe a few people because of my background. But again, something definitely obtainable, because I've visited with other people coming out of the classes who had no real estate background whatsoever, and they're coming along, you know, very well.
Good.
So, yeah, the education is good.
Happy to hear that. And now one of the things is, obviously, as we state, is, you know, whether you found us before or you found us afterwards, you always pay for your education one way or the other. Our goal primarily is to ensure that you take advantage of of all the tools that you're given and actually moving forward and on that. So based on the tools that you've got, what changed your mind, your attitude, and your drive after you joined SVI by having the tools that you have?
Oh, I would probably have to say that just being able to have that one-on-one, being able to know that you guys are here all the time and accessible, very accessible to me, made me feel the confidence that I needed to step out, because I wasn't waiting for someone to get back to me. You know, you get back to me, your staff gets back to me. And so that gave me a level of comfort to continue to move forward. Okay,
I get that. That's on the part of because there's many walks of life and different personalities. In regards to the tools, you know, we have our analyzers, we have our repair estimators, we have our learning management system, Podio.
Well, going through all of those in class was definitely more, because it's more in depth. It's not just here's the tools for you, which is what I found with a lot of other companies. You guys actually sit down, and those things we go through item by item, in class. So being able to comprehend that information when you're in a class setting with an instructor, you can ask questions to, rather than just watching a video. It's a lot easier.
Okay, great. So you can build your confidence level by understanding the tools and the time being spent to get you out of that comfort level, not knowing. And I know with you, there's been that comfort level, which I've seen you grow in from the, I'm sitting behind class, now I've moved 3 rows up, and now I'm like, I want to talk in class. Yeah. That's phenomenal. So that's absolutely the confidence level. If you could explain as best you can, when working with members in the SVI community, what is the comfort that you feel about risk, about working with somebody in your same network than working with somebody else out there in real estate investing?
Well, the people that are within SVI organization have the same education that I've gone through. So I know that their knowledge, their vocabulary, their understanding of what this process is that we're going through, we're on the same page. And so there is a huge comfort level for me knowing that the contractors that SVI works with, they're also available to me as a student. I don't have to worry about what kind of contractor or what kind of realtor or what kind of appraiser or what kind of lost my word.
The vetting process?
Yes.
Okay.
Your vetting process. That for me was huge because it just, again, it's a proponent that allows you to move your company forward so much faster by having those tools available to you. Where again, the larger companies are like, go find a good contractor, go find a good attorney, go find a good appraiser, go find a good title company. And here it's like, no, they're here. We've done that work for you. And again, that was just for me an amazing springboard for me to just build that confidence and say, let's go. I've got it. I'm ready to go.
I think you really hit the nail on the head above everything that we've talked about, is that the value of time in this business will either make or break you.
Yes.
It's understandable that time has allowed this business to be seen by more people. Obviously now we have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, so many different platforms to draw people into this business, which means there's more people in this business now. That means our efforts and our execution has to be faster. We have to be more confident to throw offers. But most of all is by building your confidence in knowledge and implementation, I think it's going to make you a better overall investor in the community. Would you say that?
Absolutely. And having that education makes me feel more confident just as an individual that I am more prepared than some of the other people who are coming into this industry and don't have that educational background.
Correct. And just I guess to close this question out here. So to finalize this here, and to tell the people that are listening to us and watching us, once you've taken the class with us, obviously you're understanding your role of being an investor, right?
Yes.
It's to just play that role, not the technician level. Well, once you've known that, you're going to go through a process that we call advanced implementation, which are 3 months of unlimited 2-hour sessions in which you get to determine how much time you want to spend in bettering what you've learned. We don't give you any limitations. That's why it's unlimited. What have you noticed has been the best impactor of the advanced implementation? The thing that has said, wow, I'm seeing success. I'm seeing progress. Now I can move on to the next step and on to the next step.
The advanced implementation for me it's that one-on-one with you where I get to actually sit down, and the infinite points that I'm stuck on, when we sit and we have that conversation, we work through it, and then I'm off to the next thing. So without that, you almost feel stuck again. So with your advanced implementation, it allows you to move beyond where your sticking points are. So that for me has been amazing.
So you're breaking through your walls.
Yes, absolutely. Over it, under it, through it.
Oh, that's so great. That's so great because there's people in this business that suffer from analysis paralysis, right? I know you suffered from that, and I can see you coming out of that a lot more. And by having that type of structure to help you move forward, I think it really lets you know that you're going to survive this business.
Yes.
I can tell you that from what I hear from everybody, the number one killer of this business is people quit.
Yeah.
You know, people quit, and I think at SVI we're trying to build a better investor that doesn't quit, because we want that investor to become more of a future mentor or a future family member, as we call everybody at SVI, family members to the new people that are coming in.
And I feel that way from the first time that I walked in. I
Oh,
immediately
appreciate
felt
that.
like this is a very good place for me to be, because I did feel like family. You know, every person that you have on staff makes you feel welcome, makes you feel like, how can I help? You know, they're all here to help you be better at your own business, because at the end of the day, we are responsible for our own business.
Correct.
But SVI's definitely helped me advance in my desire to be a better investor.
Excellent. And we're trying to build a better investor, quality over quantity, as we always state. So, Vanessa, I want to thank you so much for answering these questions. So, guys, I really appreciate you guys listening. Please make sure, guys, that you go ahead and click on the bell on the QR code. Follow us, because we're always doing events. And most of all, be sure you guys tune in next time.